It's just, can you hear me through your headphones?
No,
You can't.
no.
They must not be plugged in yet.
Is there a volume on them?
Yeah, there is. But it shouldn't, it should be here. The volume, is it plugged in here okay? Maybe this is. How about now?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. So they weren't all the way snapped in.
Right.
Okay, so, you know, when you're getting one of these started, it's hard to decide how much money to spend and how far to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I've started here. We have this machine here. This is the Rodecaster.
Okay.
So I'm microphone number 1. So you can adjust the volume on that here and here.
Okay.
And then you should be microphone number 2. But I don't hear you coming out. Are you talking into it? Talk into it now.
Yeah, I'm talking. I
Okay.
don't feel like it is.
So, but
But-
you can hear yourself through the headphones, right?
No. Oh, yes. Yeah. Now I can. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so we can adjust the volume for the individual microphones right here.
Okay.
And then you have things like special effects, stuff like that.
Ah.
Okay,
Sorry.
so yeah, so you got some buttons and things here, and then right now the reason that we have to sit so close is because we're sharing the output for the headphones. I just have one. I just have so much. Again, it goes back to like how much money do you want to invest in this first before you really try it out, you know?
Right.
So I've patched together a few things here, and that's why we have to be right next to the machine. And the headphones are kind of tight and everything like that.
Yeah.
And so, but ideally, what I would like to have is the desk here is sitting over here,
Mhm.
and then somebody else is managing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And see, this is where I thought maybe like a Sammy could come in.
Okay.
You know, maybe he could get involved in doing the technical side of it, as well as having a microphone and a camera and things like that.
Right. Yeah. Cause like a studio, like almost like you're in a, like, I don't know, radio type studio. Is that what you're thinking?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So,
Because you could have you could have like 3 other people if you
yeah,
want.
I can have up to 4 people because we have 4 channels here.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I would think someone that would sit there
Mm-hmm.
and kind of be like a rotating guest or something like that, or whoever can. I'm not saying that you're going to always be able to do it. Obviously, I will always be here,
Right.
but the idea though would be to have someone like Sammy. I think someone young that's interested in stuff like this
Mm-hmm.
that might want to take the ball and run with it a little bit as far
Mhm.
as like learning the buttons, how to program them, and things like that.
Right.
And just learning how to produce the podcast, as well as having the laptop. And then basically that would just allow me to sit here and focus on the talking.
Okay. Yeah.
And of course, you know, I see a role for someone like you sitting here next to me as when I'm opining on whatever it is that I'm talking about. Maybe I come to something and I'm trying to remember it and I can't remember it, and you
Mhm.
could maybe look it up on your phone real quick and then figure out what that might be that I might have stumbled on.
Okay.
You see something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think another thing to realize too is this can all be chopped up, right? So don't worry about.
Oh yeah. Like you could go in and
Yeah, if you say something and then you stumble
it
on it,
out
it's
or
okay
something.
just to say, you know what, I'm gonna stop here,
mm-hmm.
create a pause, and then redo the thought,
Okay.
and then I can just chop that up later.
Gotcha.
So that's one. But again, so I would think ideally what I would love to have is 4 people. I think that helps take some of the pressure off of it.
Right. Right.
You know,
Yeah.
because even right now I feel a little bit nervous
I
doing
do
it,
too.
and it's just you got to do it and you got to overcome it.
Right.
But it is something to think about when you're putting yourself out there like this. But
Right. Well, I've watched some people doing it, so I have like an idea of. It's just like they're constantly, I see them post like, what do you want me to talk about kind of thing. Like, it's like finding the information or whatever it is that you want to talk about and having multiple, you know.
Hmm. Well, I think a lot of times, we'll sit and we'll have really good conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fine just the way it is. It's just when you want to go and try maybe start recording it, it becomes a little different. It
Yeah.
it changes the whole dynamic of it.
Okay. Yeah.
But anyway, so one thing I was telling you this the other day that basically what I'm seeing is, you have your Facebook, you have your Instagram, you have YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and these creators they've been doing it for years. But right now you're seeing frustration with some creators that I follow anyway, like a Tim Pool or Kim Iverson or even Candace Owens. They're all complaining that YouTube's rules and restrictions are either demonetizing them, they're shadow banning them, they're doing all these things to prevent their content from growing
Mm-hmm.
and prevent them from making money on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing a growing frustration, in my opinion, of people that are saying this. And a lot of times it's political commentary. And, the political commentary is what it is. It's contentious. It drives a lot of people it triggers people.
Right.
So, YouTube is trying to keep a clamp down on that stuff. So what I'm seeing right now is a big opportunity to start creating content
Mm-hmm.
exclusively for X.
Okay. Yeah, well, I've noticed that too. It's not just free speech either on these platforms. Like, you have to watch what you say because it's taken down and, it's offended whoever, but you're not able to express yourself fully because they'll just take it down. And it's not,
Yeah, they do what they want.
right.
So the danger in that is you go through all this trouble to set something up, you build a following,
Mm-hmm.
and then YouTube can just say strike one, strike two, strike three, you're out.
Right.
Or in the case of like a Candace Owens, just basically just demonetize her overnight. And it's all because of these niche groups of people that reach out to YouTube and they make a big fuss, and YouTube is like, okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We can just do whatever we want. So, but the thing is, these commentators, they still have to, they need a place to go to. And obviously, I think when people think about YouTube, they think about Rumble. And Rumble's a good platform. I like it. But in my opinion, X has everything you need. X is a platform that you could use it however you want to use it. It's not necessarily like you have to give up your Facebook life. You can move that Facebook life to X, but it's not as simple as that. You do have to kind of tweak the settings and everything, and you could make it like that, is what I'm saying. And then you could get away from supporting people like Mark Zuckerberg and
Mm-hmm.
Meta and these platforms that basically don't like you.
Well, I think what it is too is I've recently noticed with X that it's not as user friendly for me, like being like not that savvy on computers to begin with, but I feel like maybe the older generation is like a Facebook, and like with Instagram it wasn't as popular and there wasn't as many of your friends on it, but now it's become the new Facebook, in my opinion, with less commenting, more just liking and sharing and watching. So for me, it's just getting more familiar with X and how to use it.
Yeah.
And then too, like my friend, like, not that I want my friends on it, really. It's more just for information, and follow people other than friends. But there's not as many of my friends on X. So then the same thing happened with Instagram. And then all of a sudden it became popular and more and more
So
people
let me ask you a question then. If your friends knew that you were starting to produce your own content on X, do you think they would start watching it?
I think people would start watching it, but it's like, overcoming that fear. And like for celebrities and then people that have gone on like TV, like let's say The Bachelor or something, and became famous overnight just for being on the show, then they accumulate all these followers. So I think for someone like me, you know, maybe I have like 50 friends, let's say, but it would be harder for me to get out there, I think, than these people that start talking or start like becoming, what's the word I'm looking for?
Influencers.
Yeah, influencers of even like a company, and then them sending them product just for them to use to show.
Oh yeah, happens all the time.
Yeah,
right?
I mean that would be amazing to do something like that, but it's you know, it's hard to get out there, I feel like.
It definitely is. It's you got to take that step. You got to create something. But I think, in my opinion, I think what would happen though is if the people around you knew that you were doing it, and the content was somewhat informative and funny or entertaining, then they're going to watch it and they're going to talk about it, and their friends are going to talk about it, and that's how it grows. It grows organically like that, and
Right.
next thing you know, people will be like, "Hey, can I come on?"
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like I'm saying, I think it's better to have. It would be nice to have someone else sitting there as well too, because I think it's easier to have conversation when there's more people, right? So you get, you know, I think I can drive the topic. So the way I would see this thing working is basically what I want to do is I want to create I don't want to call it a podcast. And it's not it feels like a podcast the way that we're doing it right now, but more of a news broadcast about X, what's happening on X. I want to become the kind of nexus of people who produce content explicitly for X. So if you know people that I should that fit that category, I'd like to know about them. Comment, let me know, send me a message, tell me about them. I'll watch their content, and if I like it, then I'll promote it on my channel. And I'd like to become a directory of what happens on X. Every week, X puts out their own This Week on X. They put out a report about the happenings of the whole last week with the company. And the company's actually split up into a bunch of different subsidiaries, I guess you could call them. I've created, let me go to it here. I've created a list. So here, and the internet's a little slow right now. Okay. Might have to restart it. What a time for it to go down. Let's see, which phone is it? Where is my other phone? Do you see it? Oh, wait, right. That's the one that's being recording right. Let me look at, make sure that's okay. Hold on.
Okay. I forgot I was being recorded.
Huh?
Like you can see me on there?
Yeah, you're being recorded
Oh,
on that one.
Okay.
So we're both. I think we're both in that shot on that one, but I'm in the shot on this one. And what I also have is something called ScreenFlow. So what ScreenFlow is it records what's happening on the computer at the same time. So basically, we have 3 channels going. We have 3 video channels. So this camera, that camera, and the screen.
Okay.
And like I was saying, it would be really great if I could set up that desk kind of right here
Yeah.
and have somebody behind the controls of everything. And that way I can concentrate more on the content and the things that I want to talk about or highlight from the week before.
Yeah. Well, you were saying that on X they tell you what's going on the week before.
That's right. I
Yeah.
wish I could bring it up, but it looks like my internet has gone down.
Okay.
Let me switch it to this other one here, and then because probably that phone's just tied up with the fact that it's doing the recording.
Well, I think I'm gonna have to like pay attention to X more to know what's.
This brings me into another topic, actually. It
Okay.
dovetails into another topic
Okay.
that I think you can actually you can be a gang on X, I feel like. If you get enough people involved, I mean, you could go like it's your job. Like go to my apartment here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's 4 or 5 of us sitting around, and all we're doing is engaging on X. We're talking about whatever the breaking news is on X, and then we are commenting on it and driving the engagement of it.
Where are you seeing the like, I don't know. I mean, I get on and it's just a bunch of random stuff.
It feels that way. Another thing about X is to really understand it, it takes some time and you really have to commit yourself to it almost. Okay, finally I got the X platform.
Who controls X?
X was purchased by Elon Musk, a couple years ago. I actually just
Okay.
saw X posted, let me go to my bookmarks here. X. Okay, so there's this week on X, but X, happy birthday to us. October 27th was the birthday of X.
Oh, really?
So he just
So
purchased.
you just follow X.
Well, X is one of the accounts that I like to follow. I follow
Okay.
about 600 different accounts.
Okay.
One thing I've actually
Well, I
noticed,
should probably follow some of the same ones, so then I have
actually what I would suggest for you to do
is separate.
is to figure out what are the local news companies, news broadcasts in Florida, all the different cities
Okay.
of Florida, and follow their account
Okay.
because you get the best stories from your local news.
Okay.
So if you know what's happening on Florida, all I would really need you to do maybe is bring one or two things that you saw in the last week
Yeah.
to talk about.
Okay.
And if you could let me know what those are beforehand, then I can get them into like a list. And again, it's someone like Sammy would be there. He would have the list. I would say, hey, switch to number 5.
Yeah.
And then we would talk about that topic.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can do that. That poor dog that was chained up on a fence during the hurricane. Did you see about that?
No, I didn't. Was that in Florida?
Yeah, it was in Florida. It was crazy. Like some man.
That's a
just-
first degree misdemeanor, I think.
Yeah, he went to jail for it. The poor dog, he looked like Spuds McKenzie. He was so cute. He was like he was flooded. He was in water, just chained up to a fence.
I think
Like, who
people who
does
do
that?
that. No, he's probably on drugs. I
You
mean, he
think so?
probably just forgot. He's just
Oh.
high, and who knows. I mean, I can't explain why a regular person would do that to a dog or any animal, but I mean, they're out there, but I think a lot of times they're just distracted.
Yeah, probably because
You know,
my
maybe
kids
they just
couldn't
committed
believe
a
it.
crime and all kinds of other. That's the least of their crimes at the moment. probably.
Yeah, chaining up a dog.
Anyway, here's this report that I was talking about. So every Friday, X puts out this report, and it's everything that happened the week before in X, and you can just kind of scroll through it and see everything that happened in the different departments. So, for example, here we could just find these random topics. It's not like you have to bring some. We can just talk about this, like right here, saying there's an update to the spooky icon. So you can change the icon on your phone
Oh, okay.
to something Halloween themed if you'd like.
Oh, that's
a new.
fun.
Oh yeah, that's a new.
Because you don't do that with well, I mean, I think you can with Pandora. I think I've seen Sammy's. He knows how
Look
to
at this one
change
here.
it.
Like this is really great. It's talking about how their content creator revenue sharing program has been overwhelmingly gotten positive feedback. So this is what I'm talking about. It's happening. It's right now. It's happening.
Okay.
People get on X and create content. Again, if you know people that I should follow, let me know about them, and then I will talk about them and help promote their content. If you have your blue check and you follow me, I will follow you back based on that alone.
Right.
There's obviously people that I follow that don't have blue checks, but I have to know who they are, I think, because there's a lot. I mean, most of my followers, I mean, I'm not going to lie, they're bots. And that's okay because X still counts them as followers. So when we're talking about monetization on X, it's about engagement. It's about followers. So even if they're fake, they're still part of the equation.
Really?
Yeah.
And how are they fake?
They're AI.
Oh, it's just AI.
I would say most of the internet is AI at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
There isn't a whole lot of people left,
And what?
relatively speaking. I would
Okay.
say most of the traffic that's happening on the internet is just other computers talking to each other. It's not even people talking to each other.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, there are people talking to each other, but proportionally,
Mm-hmm.
overwhelmingly, it's just computers talking to other computers, in my opinion.
Wow.
They call it the dead internet theory.
Okay.
That the internet's actually it's spiraling into a mechanism or medium that only bots and other things are talking to each other at this point. They overwhelmingly are accounting for the traffic on the internet. That's what I'm trying to say.
Interesting.
All right, so why don't we pause right here, and then I'm going to stop the recording, and then I'm going to show you what it's like to watch it back.
Okay.